Today's guest is a true leader in women's health. I am so excited to introduce you to Kristen Toth. With more than 20 years of experience leading strategic initiatives in healthcare, she now serves at the helm of AdventHealth for Women. From her previous role as Vice President of Women's, Children's, and Oncology Services for Ascension St. Thomas, to her deep commitment to community nonprofits, Kristen brings heart, purpose, and vision to everything she touches. Whether she's supporting Go Red for Women or helping Make-A-Wish make dreams come true, Kristen embodies what it means to lead with both excellence and compassion. She's also a devoted wife and mom of two, balancing it all with grace. You're going to absolutely love this conversation. Now let's get to work. May is Women's Health Month, and now is the perfect time to remind you to get your annual screenings and exams. AdventHealth for Women is here to make it easy for you because life can get busy. The Women's Health Navigation Team is a complimentary service that can help you schedule your annual Well Woman exam, find a new provider, or get that appointment that you've been putting off. This team of registered nurses can also help you answer questions and match you with the best doctor for you based on your personal preferences and insurance. So let AdventHealth for Women's Health Navigators help you check one item off your to-do list. Visit herhealthnavigator.com to get started today. Welcome to the She Believed She Could podcast. I'm your host, Allison Walsh. This show is dedicated to helping you show up, shine bright, and achieve abundant success. Each episode is packed with advice and actionable resources to elevate your mindset, confidence, business, and brand, all while focusing on your happiness, well-being, and success. I am so excited that you're here. I can't wait to get started, so let's get to work. Well, Kristen, I am so thrilled that you are here with us today. Would you mind sharing a little bit more about your journey with us?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I'm Kristen Toth. I recently moved to Florida to join AdventHealth for Women. I am a native Tennessean and have been in the Nashville area for over 20 years. I have been in healthcare in women's and children's specifically for more than 20 years and have loved my journey. I did not anticipate a year ago that I would be living in Florida, joining AdventHealth for Women, but my family has absolutely loved the change and loved the transition, and very happy to be a part of the team.
Yeah, well, I heard about you before you got here. I've heard about you since you've been here, so I feel very grateful to have time with you today. And before we jump into all of the different things that we want to discuss, I'd love to just understand what brought you to healthcare in the first place, because I'm always curious, especially after having spent so many years in healthcare myself.
Sure. I got into healthcare by accident. It was not what I went to school for. But I think that's kind of been my journey is I've never looked for that next position. It's doors have opened. And part of that is through making connections and having relationships. And I was invited to a lunch. Goodness, it's been, 15, 16 years ago now, to meet someone who was a client of a company that I worked for. And we just sat and had a conversation. And by the time we were done with our lunch, she asked if I wanted to come work for her, and I knew that I did. And so that was really my first step into the hospital side of healthcare. And I had the opportunity to come in and pilot for a large health system, a business development and strategy team. And we really built it from the ground up. And it was a lot of fun because we didn't have someone giving us a manual telling us what to do. We were whiteboarding and erasing and starting over, and had a really great teammate that was a lot of fun and really creative. And it was such a fun team to build. And we weren't afraid to make mistakes because it hadn't been done. We had to make some mistakes along the way to get it right. But it was really a great experience and great opportunity. And I look back on that time with so much fondness.
Yeah, no, when you have those opportunities earlier in your career too, where you have that safe space to learn and grow. And I just want to double click. We've talked a lot about the power of network and relationships. And I love that that's really kind of what opened the door for you too, is somebody seeing something in you and saying you should consider that. So that's pretty neat. But you are also a mom and a wife and wearing lots of other crowns as we talk about around here. So how have you balanced that as you've navigated the different opportunities that you've had in your career?
If we're being honest, there's been times where it's been tough. I've missed things. I've been able to be at a lot of things, but not always at everything. And from the time my kids were very small, I was just very honest with them and would tell them up front, I can be at this, or I'm not going to be able to be at that. But Dad's going to record it and I want to hear all about it. I had one position before I jumped into healthcare. My last year, I traveled 22 weeks out of the year that year, and my kids were smaller, and both were in competitive sports, and I had to learn to accept that when I was present, to really be in the moment and give them my full attention and not allow any distractions from that time. But they also know that because of my work and because of my career, they've been afforded more opportunities to do things in their life that they probably wouldn't have the opportunity to do if I had made the choice to stay at home. And I think that's such a personal choice. And I really went back and forth with that choice myself for many years, because you do have that mom guilt when you miss out. But my kids are now almost 17 and then 18, one in college. And so it's a lot of fun just to see how that relationship has changed over the years. And now that she's away from us and she's finding her path, I love our late night calls when she calls to tell us about our day or what's happening within her sorority or in her classes. It's been a lot of fun, and we really look forward to the weekends or the times that she gets to come home and be with us.
And I love what you said about being present. That was my word of the year last year, of just be where you are, because it's so easy, especially with being so connected and dialed in, that, wherever you are, people can reach you, but you have to be able to put up some healthy boundaries for yourself too, so that they can get the best of you as well.
Absolutely.
So.
And they deserve it.
Yeah,
they deserve that time.
absolutely. Absolutely. And they've seen you be able to create an amazing career for yourself, help a lot of people. I mean, the ripple effect of what you've been able to do, both where you were prior and now that you're here in Orlando, and all the work that you're doing with Advent, I'm sure they are so proud of you. So
I hope so. I do try to include them, especially if we have volunteer events. I want them to be involved and see their community and give them the chance to be involved. Even at Christmas, we went and served dinner to our associates at the hospital, and my kids were back there, with the apron and the hairnet on and serving food. And they both told me they just enjoyed that and getting to meet so many people. So I love getting them involved as well.
Oh, absolutely. Bring them along in the process. So it's so amazing. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about today is, and something I love about AdventHealth, is just the way in which they can connect you with people that you need, right? And so Advent has been so intentional around navigating patient care and giving people the resources to be able to take control of their health and actually action on it and not get overwhelmed in the process. So can you explain a little bit more about what Advent's doing to help people navigate their health journey?
Absolutely. We actually just celebrated the 10th anniversary in March of our Women's and Children's Navigation team. When I joined the organization, I'd had several people tell me how phenomenal this team was. So I decided to secret shop them. We've just moved to the community. My family needs all new physicians living here in Florida now. And so I just gave them a call and put them to the test. And I tried to come up with as many complex scenarios as I could. And let me tell you, they nailed it. We all had our primary care visits scheduled within just a couple of weeks. We got everything that we needed based on the locations. My husband wants to be close to home. He works from home, and so he doesn't want to have to travel far for his physician. I want to be closer to work so that I can run before or after my office time. And they just did a great job. They are such a great team. They're so well connected in our community, and they spend time with every department, and they are so familiar with the physicians across all of the campuses. And it truly is phenomenal to have one phone number that a female can call and say, this is what I'm looking for in any aspect of care, whether it's primary care, obstetric, chirurgyn, pelvic floor therapy. And they know how to get you connected to that person, and they really do the heavy lifting for you. We are busy as women, and we don't have time to make multiple phone calls to sit on hold. And I really love that this team is in place, and it's continuing to grow because more people are utilizing them. But they do a phenomenal job of getting women to the care that they need.
They do. And they're so wonderful to speak with and be able to have somebody that can navigate the system for you, right? That I think that is something that is so overwhelming. And we know that, right? People have a reluctance to, make all those calls or go to Google to try to figure it out. You don't have to. And I think that is so nice. And what a beautiful service for the community. And I remember when Advent first launched this, and I just was so excited to know that there was literally a single number that you could call and take the overwhelm out of it. So I love that. And I'm excited that it's continuing and growing and thriving. And I just can't wait to just continue to follow it in the progress.
The very first navigator, Doreen Forsyth, actually leads that team now, and her passion is just phenomenal, and she's got tremendous ideas. So I'm really excited to see where they continue to grow.
And she's a pillar in this community.
She
I mean,
is.
so many people know Doreen by name because of all of the things that she's been able to do and people she's been able to connect to care. So that's pretty special. I love that for her and for Advent and for all of us.
Yes.
So, but I want to talk about now moving into a discussion around like fourth trimester, right? So that's something that I know has been an overlooked phase for many moms. So what has inspired or really encouraged the launch of the Fourth Trimester Program?
So I will tell you, this launched before I came, and so was so excited to learn about it, and I love what the team was building. And we know that CDC data tells us that Black women are 3 to 4 times more likely to die in childbirth or within that first year of having a baby, and that's just not acceptable to myself, to this team. And so they really wanted to launch this program to care for Black women who have had C-sections, who have been identified as having high blood pressure at some point in her pregnancy. And so this fourth trimester coordinator takes them into their care for that 12 weeks after they've had their baby. And it's really been phenomenal to see how that readmission rate has truly dropped, because you have this point person caring for you while you're at home caring for your baby, and to make sure that you're getting to your appointments, that you're taking care of yourself, that you're getting the rest you need, that if anything feels off, that you're getting checked immediately. And that's so important for all women. If you feel off at all in that postpartum phase, you need to be seen, because postpartum eclampsia is truly a real thing, and your blood pressure can spike, and it's really dangerous. And so I love that we're giving focus to this particular space to help reduce readmissions, keep women well, and reduce that risk of any complications after pregnancy. I'll share with you, one of the women who went through the program had such a great experience. She has joined our AdventHealth for Women team and is now part of the Fourth Trimester Program. So we're thrilled to have her, and there's no better person to share their story and their experience of going through that program to help others be encouraged to participate and be involved.
That's huge, right? It's hard to be her when you can't see her. And that just continues to, be a guiding light for other people when they can see themselves in somebody who has lived a similar experience and can, say, yes, you know what, I want that extra support, even maybe proactively before they may even need it. Having those consistent eyes, those consistent touch points can really be a game changer, especially in those fragile first 12 weeks where you're trying to figure things out, right? Like
you're
life
just trying
is
to survive the day.
Yes, so that's wonderful. And I know you're super passionate about the NICU and everything when it comes to this particular phase and stage. So can you share a little bit more about your passion?
Sure. So I was a NICU mom. My youngest was in the NICU. He was born just after 38 weeks, but just was having trouble breathing on his own. We now know that was just indicative of his personality. He is quite a laid back individual. I'm sure he's going to outlive all of us. But it was a very scary experience. You anticipate when you have a baby and you think you're going to have them in the room with you and be holding them and nursing them and cuddling them and having your family come in and visit. And when they're whisked away to the NICU, it's very upsetting. And I was not prepared for that, even though I worked in that space. I'd spent many hours in NICUs. When it's your own child, it's just a little bit of a different experience, and you don't want to be taken away from your baby. And he was very sick. We were not able to hold him for 3 days, and there were a lot of ups and downs. And I remember so many things about that experience at the time. That NICU was not open 24 hours a day, and so there were very small windows of times that I could go and see him and be present with him. And I just had a C-section. My husband was back at work, so I couldn't drive myself. So it was just a very frustrating time. I was dependent on other people to get me there. I had an 18-month-old at home as well. And so I think about that. I remember calling at night and just sitting on hold, waiting for someone to pick up the phone so I could ask how my baby was doing before I went to bed. And it just wasn't the experience that I felt it should be. And I love seeing now that NICUs are open 24 hours a day for their parents. NICUs are building private rooms so that you can be away. You're not in kind of an open space with a lot of incubators and other families. You can have that more one-on-one time with your baby. NICU cameras are really important so that if you're not there, you have an option to log in and just check in and see your baby. There's been great statistics and data around moms who are pumping at home, just to be able to see their baby through that camera. It actually really helps improve their lactation. So there's tremendous benefits to that, but being able to have that access and not feel like you are an outsider to their care, but really being part of their care. I think we all take our personal experiences and want to make things better for that next mom or that next family.
Yeah, well, it's huge too. And I mean, I've had 3 kids now, and I know how much, like in those early days, it's important to have that connection, that bonding. My middle child actually ended up back in the hospital after we went home. And that was scary. And, and then she's on machines and all these. I mean, it was just, again, just the emotional roller coaster that a mom experiences in those first few weeks, especially the first few days, and not being able to stay connected. Like, again, it's so nice now that, there are accommodations and opportunities for that. That's huge. So, but I want to pivot now to a different stage of life. So perimenopause, menopause. I know there's a lot of women that listen to this show that are going through these stages of life. And I know not a lot of people are talking about it as often as we should. So what is AdventHealth doing to really support women during this transition of life?
Yes, and I love that you call it a transition. I remember my mother and her friends referring to the change, and it's
Yeah.
not just a change. It's a many changes, and it's over. It can be up to a 10-year period of your life. And I want to encourage women to talk to their friends, to talk to their providers and ask those questions. I love that there is so much more attention to this in the media. Some really great women out there in the medical space who are really trying to help women take ownership and tackle it head on. And that's what we're trying to do at AdventHealth for Women. And we're really looking to build a very robust program so that you can come in and choose how you want to navigate it, and we can customize that treatment for you. Some women want to have hormone therapy and some do not. And so we want to have options available to women based on their choices. We want to help them be able to navigate things that are important to help them be successful and feel better as they're going through this time of their life in terms of weight training and how do you eat properly and really care for yourself. And everybody says, you need to sleep so many hours at night. Well, sometimes your body doesn't let you sleep that many hours at this phase of life. And so we want to look at every aspect and have a really tremendous program. So that's one of our priorities this year.
May is Women's Health Month, and now is the perfect time to remind you to get your annual screenings and exams. AdventHealth for Women is here to make it easy for you because life can get busy. The Women's Health Navigation Team is a complimentary service that can help you schedule your annual Well Woman exam, find a new provider, or get that appointment that you've been putting off. This team of registered nurses can also help you answer questions and match you with the best doctor for you based on your personal preferences and insurance. So let AdventHealth for Women's Health Navigators help you check one item off your to-do list. Visit herhealthnavigator.com to get started today. Well, I'm super excited. We've actually had some amazing women on this show that have really focused on perimenopause, menopause. They've created cool products and just super dialed in because there was a wide open space here for whatever reason. And, and they're, I'll link to them in the show notes too, but it's just fascinating to see the progression in this area. So I'm excited to see Advent continue to step in.
Absolutely. And learning what supplements are important for your body. And there's no one size fits all. We're all different. We're all unique. And so we all need to be able to move forward through it in what's best for us and what helps us feel strong and confident and feel healthy every day.
Absolutely. Well, and I think to continue the conversation, there are so many things that aren't talked about as often as they should be. And pelvic floor therapy is also one of those topics. And it can be absolutely life-changing, but a lot of people don't even know what it is. So can we start with that and then talk about, what other options are out there for those that might be interested?
Absolutely. So we have a group of pelvic floor trained therapists as part of our rehabilitation services, and they provide very customized and discreet private treatment for you to help you strengthen these parts of your body that can weaken through pregnancy or just as you age. Incontinence becomes quite a thing for many women as they get older. And these are all things that from postpartum to that perimenopause, menopause age, pelvic floor therapy can be very beneficial. And so our therapists are trained specifically for that. I know some women may be reserved or hesitant to try it, but the benefits are tremendous. And when you speak to someone who's been through it and they tell you the benefits that they've seen, it can help you avoid surgeries later on. And we really encourage women, especially even in that postpartum phase, to consider it. And it really helps them to feel like themselves again.
Right. Well, and there are remedies and solutions and
There
options. And
are.
I think that's what I love so much about our conversation today is that, take care of yourself, ask questions, ask for support. The resources are there. There's people that are specialized and do this every day of their lives. And so I love that. And, another common topic that I know so many women think about is breast health, right? And I know I always am very concerned. I've had friends that have had breast cancer and different things and struggled with different symptoms along their lifespan. So, what are some pieces of advice that you have for women when it comes to that area of their body, too?
So I've never met a woman who looked forward to her mammogram. Not one.
Yeah, it's not
And
fun.
so
I'm not going to lie, but necessary.
it is necessary, and we want women to get their mammograms. It's a really important step in early detection for breast cancer. But there are ways to make it more fun. I have the last few years scheduled my mammogram alongside my best friend, and we go together. We schedule our appointments at the same time, and then we reward ourselves with coffee or brunch or lunch afterwards. And so at least we're holding each other accountable to go and get it done. But again, for AdventHealth for Women, we want to make it convenient for women too. And so we're offering evening hours and weekend hours so that women have access to that to work it into their busy schedules and to make it easy for them.
Well, and I think that's the key is that you hold each other accountable,
Yes.
right? Like, especially at this age, like I feel like, and I don't know if you're recognizing this too, or you're seeing this, but I feel like people are getting diagnosed earlier and earlier and earlier. And so in the past where I've heard, oh, I'm not old enough for that yet, or it's, I'll wait a few more years. It's like, no, like be proactive. And I know that's a big message that you have too, is be proactive, not reactive.
Yeah, and I think too, learning to do your self-exam and just being disciplined enough to do that monthly and staying on top of it because you don't want time to go by and something to happen. We've got a tremendous breast program. We are using technology now and you tapping into AI for women who are known to be at high risk for breast cancer. And we want to really be able to be identifying things early on so that we can be proactive instead of reactive and help them to hopefully avoid that diagnosis.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've loved hearing about all of the things that Advent Health is doing and staying on the forefront of medicine and being just very proactive with our health. But I want to turn the conversation back to you because you are a leader in this community. You've had an unbelievable career as a female in leadership. I'm curious, what has really shaped you and your leadership style?
Several things. I will share that I've been blessed to have some really tremendous female leaders to look up to and to model my leadership style after. I'm still in touch with several of those people, and one of them I haven't worked for in almost 20 years, but she was just such an inspiration, and she's still out there doing amazing things and leading great teams. And when you have women who believe in you and inspire you, it's your turn to then pay it forward when you become a leader. And that's what I hope to do with my team now, that I hope that I've done with my previous teams, that they know that somebody's always behind them, rooting for them and cheering them on and elevating them and giving them new opportunities. I think also doing some self-reflection on who you are and who you want to be as a leader. We've talked about Strength Finders. We've talked about Enneagram. I think those are both two really good books that help you learn more about yourself, but also give you an idea of how other people perceive you. And I've taken a lot from those and really been thoughtful about how I want to approach leadership and what I want to bring to an organization. And so I think both being inspired from others and then also doing self-reflection are really key.
Well, and the mentorship aspect too, it's so nice when you have positive influences in your life that can see something in you, maybe that you can't yet see in yourself, and holding up the mirror for others and recognizing that. And you never know what you're going to spark when you do that for somebody. And that's huge. And then, I mean, we're a huge fan of Strengths Finders around here. I'm really excited about the workshop that we're doing this weekend for our community and look forward to many, many more. But it's just so powerful when you have that level of self-awareness and really what are you good at, right? Like that boosts your confidence. It helps you really navigate different stages and phases of your life and career, knowing like, what am I great at? What fulfills me? Where can I really tap into those talents? So when you know yourself and you know your talents, as well as the strengths of your people, you can really unlock a lot of potential.
Absolutely. And everyone has something to offer. Everyone has gifts and strengths and talents. And it's so fun when you help them identify them and you're able to utilize them to build and grow in an organization or in their personal relationships. It's a lot of fun to watch them develop.
Absolutely. Kristen, one of my favorite questions to ask when it comes to interviewing amazing women like you is what type of legacy do you want to leave and the impact that you want to make while you're at AdventHealth?
I hope that legacy is that I treated others well and that I believed in them, that they knew that I believed in them and helped develop them in their leadership and in their growth in their roles.
Absolutely. I think that's the real leadership ripple effect, right? When you can help them become the best possible version of themselves. And, just to wrap up as we head into the last few questions, I know a lot of women doubt themselves, right? It's really easy to downplay our ambition or to say, maybe I'm not ready for it. But I think your career is marked with moments of having to trust yourself. So what advice would you give other women that maybe are considering a new opportunity or stepping outside their comfort zone?
I truly believe anything is possible. And you have to be willing to take chances. You have to be willing to take risks. Surround yourself with great people who believe in you so that you can talk to them and walk through your thoughts. You need to have somebody to kind of get that off of your chest with, but be willing and be courageous and take that step. It could be the best decision of your life.
Yes. Love that. And then what does confidence mean to you?
What does confidence mean to me? It means being able to know what you do well, to know what you don't do well, to be able to say, I'm sorry, to not be afraid to make mistakes, but to give your all in everything that you do every day.
I love that. And then as we wrap up, I love to find out who inspires you. Who else should we be following or be connected to or be reading, watching, etc.?
Oh, I read a book over Christmas. Becky Crenshaw was the author, and it was Choosing What is Best. And it was really, it was a devotion for Advent and really looking at the story of Mary and Martha. And Mary chose what was best, and she chose to be present in the moment. And I have a natural tendency to be a Martha and to want to make everything just right and be so focused on the details. And it was really a fantastic read. You can grab it on Amazon, but I really enjoyed that book. The Big Boo is a podcast that is a lot of fun. It's just moms living their lives and very relatable. And then I love listening to Dr. Vonda Wright. She is really inspiring, and boy, does she motivate you to get off the couch and go for a walk or go lift some weights and go do the things to take care of yourself. When you take care of your physical self, there's so many mental benefits to that. So those are some of the women that I'm looking to.
Love that. Great suggestions. And then where should people connect with you or take advantage of some of the resources that AdventHealth has available?
Yes, we've got a wonderful website for women that we can share after maybe in the notes. And then our women's navigation team is fantastic as well. And then we have our AdventHealth for Women page on social media, and we can share all of those links.
Love that. We'll put them all in the show notes. Thank you so much for joining me today. This was a great conversation, and I'm so thrilled that you're a part of our community now too.
I appreciate you having me.
And that's a wrap on today's episode. I hope you found inspiration, insight, and maybe even that little push that you needed to keep moving towards your goals. Remember, you are capable, you are worthy, and you are meant for more. Whatever dreams are on your heart, keep showing up, keep believing, and keep taking action because the world needs what only you can bring. If you loved this episode, it would mean the world to me if you'd take a moment to subscribe, leave a review, or share it with a friend who needs to hear this message today. And if you want to keep the conversation going, please connect with me over on Instagram at Allison Walsh. I'd love to hear your biggest takeaway. We've also got some awesome freebies that we've linked in the show notes, so make sure that you take advantage of them. Until next time, keep believing in yourself, keep shining bright, and never forget, I believe in you 1000%, and my goal is that you do too. Take care, beautiful. We'll see you next time.